Hey everyone, welcome to the March Equinox Pick a Card reading. And of course, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be the Spring Equinox. In the Southern Hemisphere, it'll be the Fall Equinox. And also March 20th, which is when that equinox happens, is going to be the astrological new year. We've gone through all of the zodiac signs. We're leaving Pisces and starting over back in Aries. So happy Aries season as well. I'll have another special video for that. That will also be coming out, of course. Now the equinox, the solstices, we are either kind of pointing away from the sun or pointing toward the sun. And that's where we have winter and, of course, summer in the different hemispheres. But now we are kind of more where the sun is on the equator, which is going to be represented with this beautiful balancing that is coming in, this equalizing, where days and nights are equal-ish compared to winter and summer, of course. So the sun can seem like it's right above the equator during that time. And again, it's this balancing where we're not tilted in one direction or the other. So this reading is going to be about, springtime is about birthing, fall time or autumn is about harvesting, things are coming to fruition. And so you're going to have a choice of 3 different pick-a-cards. The first one is going to be the caterpillar being born or the butterfly coming to fruition. Number 2 is going to be the little seedling that does grow up into a fruit tree. And then we've got like the baby or the calf or the fawn that turns and grows into the adult, into the stag. So you have choices of 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to start with number 1. All the others have the timestamp in the description box below. So if you want to jump to one of those other ones, you can do that. Otherwise, we're going to start with number 1. All right, my Capricorns, if you chose reading number 1, which is the caterpillar to the butterfly, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from these Into the Lonely Woods deck. And this is just going to represent one side of the scale here for the balancing on what the Creator wants you to know and what will be balancing out for you during these next 3 months of this equinox. All right. All right, Creators, so for our Capricorns that chose reading number 1, what do you want them to know? Okay, right there. Right off the bat. And you've got the Do Not Hide Your Light. Love that. Card number 40. And let's move that over there. And we're just going to read from the little book here. And it says, "What is the light that we hold within? The love we have? The fullness of our dreams? The urge for joy that we shackle till we give ourselves limits that make us feel blinded to the truth of all that we are? The light within you is longing to be freed. It will not vanish, be stolen, or shrivel if you take it from its hidden place. Bring it forth and let the light within you lead. Know that the sense of being the only person within this strange shining within will be replaced in time with the knowledge that your light helps us all escape our prisons, that your light illuminates the darkness of the lonesome path. The world needs your light." Beautiful. That is wonderful for one side. The other side we're going to look at is from these Earth Magic Oracle to see what is balancing this hiding of the light that is going on here. So we'll do just a quick shuffle. Right, there we go. All right, so for our Capricorns that chose reading number 1, what do you want them? Okay. That one right there. And you have the equinox, rebirth. So this is kind of perfect for this equinox reading, wouldn't you say? And definitely this rebirth that you're going through. And I'm just going to read the beginning piece of this. I'm looking up rebirth instead of spring equinox. It helps if I'm looking at the right word. There we go. So you thought this passage you've been through would never end, and just as certain that the light of the world fades every few months, it makes its return and the earth rejoices. The fresh breath of spring sweeps away the cobwebs acquired from the absence of the light. That's crazy. The light is now obviously increasing as nature begins to emerge in all her many forms, shapes, and colors that remind us of the continual cycles of Mother Earth. This cycle of rebirth you're experiencing follows a considerably challenging time. Any tears you may have shed have cleared the way for what has been gestating, which is now ripe and ready to emerge. That which no longer serves you needs to be put to rest so that a freshness and newness of spirit can make itself known to you. Sometimes birth can be painful, particularly in that passage just before delivery, yet what emerges can be fresh and beautiful. Be with the emergence of this next cycle with faith and grace. My gosh, I love that. So yeah, this is the hiding of the light, the shrinking of the light, and this is the expression of the light coming back in full force, right? So I love this for you, and we're going to, of course, dig in deeper here. We're going to start off by looking at the Black Tarot, which this is going to represent the messages from your shadow. Your shadow is like your little tour guide in this amusement park of fear. So it is the part of us that keeps us in the game. It keeps us engaged in this human experience, but it also is the game master. It understands everything both in our conscious world, but also the subconscious. All that stuff that's going on below the surface, the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, all those programs that are running that are impacting our world and, our lives that we're living, but we're not aware of it because it is below the surface. It's still cycling and everything, and that's the truths that your shadow wants to bring through to you for this equinox period. So, shadow for our Capricorns that chose reading number 1. What do you want them to know about this equinox period? Okay, you want that one. What else? Okay, I do want that one. And anything else? Okay, yes. All right, and that one too. So we got these. What else down here? We'll start with this one here. And you do have the 6 of Swords. So swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. So all has to do with the mind and the thoughts and beliefs. What's great is that the 6 of Swords, though, is this movement of thoughts. You're leaving behind the smaller T-truths of the human world and the human experience and replacing them with capital T-truths, the higher truths of the higher mind, the higher spirit, those of the spirit world. So that makes total sense because you're making, the rebirth happens because you're letting the old go and making space in your mind, in your life, for the newness coming in. So that is what's bubbling under the surface. There are these thoughts and these beliefs that are leaving, opening up the opportunity for these new ones coming in. And then you have the King of Swords, okay, which makes total sense because the swords, the king, he has been through it all. He has experienced all of the swords pursuit throughout the deck because he's the highest of them all. He also, all the kings are air signs, and this is air, so it's like the master of the mind. And the Ace of Swords here is what empowers you to connect to those capital T truths, but also cut away those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you. So being Capricorns, I know I'm Capricorn rising, so I know I have a lot of that mentalness. We can get totally caught up in our mind. And so there's a lot of this subconscious stuff that's going in, these beliefs that have such strong foundations that have kept us hiding our light, right? Then you have the Two of Cups. Beautiful, beautiful. Cups are your emotions, and this is all about this understanding of your emotions on the inner part of yourself. Because what this talks about is that there are two places that you get emotions from and where you make emotional choices from. One is the small T truths, the human world that is so rooted in fear and in all those conditions and all those wonderful, delicious emotions that are spawned from fear, anger, sadness, depression, resentment, all those darker side of those emotions. Then the other one is the Ace of Cups, which is the chalice. It's the Holy Grail. It is what is filled with the unconditional love of the spirit world. And so you have these two cups that you choose from, and actually our human cup feels empty because there's nothing on this plane, on the earthly plane, that fulfills it for very long, if at all. But the chalice pours down into that cup of the human side and can make it feel whole and complete. It actually nudges me to let you know about this free video series that I put out starting at the beginning of this year, which is called You ×2, which is getting to know the two of you that are living this human experience. And I'll have that, in one of the corners here at the end of the video if you want to check that out. And I think I have it in the description box below too, if you want to check out the You ×2 series. It's totally free, and it's usually just one video a week, which is anywhere from 10 minutes up to 20 minutes, depending on the subject matter. So you can check that out if you feel so drawn to that. And then you have the Six of Cups. So you've got the Six of Swords and you have the Six of Cups. So there is this movement in emotions. It's usually called the Nostalgia card, which does have this, reflection back into our past emotions. But like where the Six of Swords, where it's, leaving 3 swords behind and moving into 3 new, the lower thoughts being let go and the higher thoughts being brought in. That's what happens with this Six of Cups too, that the 3 cups are the 3 cups of the earthly plane where our disappointment lies. Each one of those cups represents a part kind of our life of where we search for our wholeness and our completeness. One of them is like relationships, and that can be romantic, it can be family, friends, work, with our fur babies, feather babies, whatever it might be. The other second cup is like situations or circumstances like jobs, education, things like that. And then the third cup are like possessions or physical things like our body, our bank accounts. So it's those things. And we're taught to go look for those 3 things to fulfill us and to make us feel whole and complete. But it's unstable, it's temporary. It will leave us feeling empty because people, our relationships, people change or they pass away, so that's unstable. Situations never stay the same, so that's unstable. And things, of course, break down, deteriorate, are stolen or catch on fire, burn down, so those things are unstable. So in experiencing those, we have a lot of pain and a lot of darker emotions and memories that we have. And this underlying toe, all this that's going on with the scenes is about this movement from the physical plane to the spiritual plane that's going on. Because the more we connect with this Ace of Cups, this higher love, the more we go back and we understand that all those memories of all those emotions that we've had that have taught us to hide ourselves and hide our light, those things, we find out that every moment is either of unconditional love, of the higher realm, or of the fear of losing the conditional love based on all those small T truths, right? All this conditional love from the outside. And when we realize that, and we realize that when the human side of us goes into fight or flight mode and it's in fear, the blood rushes out of our brain. We are literally acting out of our minds because we are not in our minds. For our survival, our body doesn't allow us to stay in our minds when we're in danger or we feel we're in danger, because otherwise we'd be standing there thinking about, should I run from that giant animal or should I chomp? Too late. We are now food, and so that is part of the process, and it happens for a reason. But when we can go back and look at that memory and we understand that, oh, I was acting out of fear or they were acting out of fear, so the thing that they did or the thing that they said was out of a mindless person. They were a little child in them was feeling unsafe and out of control, so it went into fear mode and it was trying to do whatever it could to feel safe again or to feel in control, whether that was some sort of abuse or some sort of, unemotionally mature way that they went about it. So when we go back and we look at a situation that has that memory, that a darker, shadowy emotional memory, and we look at it that way, we start to look at the situation differently, and we're like, oh, okay, so it wasn't personal, they were acting out of their minds. So I start to think about that person a little differently, but probably more importantly, I start thinking about myself differently as well. And so this transformation, this push of all this energy going inside, is where this rebirth comes from, that allows you to not hide your light anymore. We're also going to pull cards here from the Naked Heart Tarot, which represents the messages from the higher realm, from Creator Spirit, all your angels, your guardian angel, your spirit guides, your loved ones on the other side, your ancestors, whatever beings of unconditional love and light want to let you know about this spring equinox period and this rebirth, the shining of your light. So, oops. As I take everything along with me here. And one more time. Oops. Do that over here. There we go. All right, so what else for our Capricorns that chose reading number 1, please? Okay. And these two. Okay. That's all that they want. So, we'll put these here and here and here and here. So your first one is the 9 of Cups. So cups are your emotions, and 9 is this beautiful feeling of wholeness in your emotional area. Now the 9, like the 9 in the major arcana, is the Hermit. So this is very much about finding this wholeness of your emotions from within, not from the outside. So that is so perfect with all this inner emotional subconscious stuff that's going to be coming up during these 3 months that you're going to be transforming, and you do that from within. So that is very empowering and very solid for you. I kind of feel too, because these new moons are really standing out for me here, I would pay attention to the new moon cycles. Well, that's just rebirth too, right? The new moon energy. Pay attention to the new moons that are happening during the spring equinox period. I do mention at the end of the video, I put out readings for both full moon and new moon. So we'll talk about that. You can subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of any of the new moon energies and the new moon readings that I put out as well. They're all for free, of course. And then you have the movement of cups, which would be the Knight of Cups in the Standard Tarot. And this is the quest for the Holy Grail, the quest for this beautiful chalice full of unconditional love. So during this spring equinox, one of the big things is, yes, you've been in this search for it, and obviously you find so much of it and you connect with it during this period of time, because you do have this like kind of wholeness that you find from within, and that is in finding that. So you do have this movement of emotion, this quest and this desire to find that unconditional love from within you. And so it is an invitation to go on that quest. So fun times. Yeah. And then you have the Justice card. Look, balance, balance. And the middle of it here is the Ace of Swords, which is what the king was holding down here. So this is very much a reiteration for you about finding the two different sides, the small t truce and the capital T truce. You know, this is card number 11, which breaks down to the number 2, which is right below it. So you have this 2, the U times 2, just that awareness of your higher self and the connection. And it is so freeing just knowing that you're not bound to just one way of thinking here. Not all of this conditioning that we've had in our lives, that there's always another choice that we can make. And this Justice card really shows, like, whenever you have this judgment that's coming up inside for others or for yourself, then you have yourself under the human conditional laws, those small t truths. Because the human side of us, when it's judging by those small t truths, it needs to know where it stands with everyone else. Am I worse or better at something than someone else? Because if I'm worse, I'm in danger of being rejected. But if I'm better, I'm not on the chopping block and I feel safer. And so that's like this journey of our small self. And that's what, again, keeps us in this place of hiding our light and hiding who we are, because we're afraid we're going to be judged harshly. But as we connect to that higher self and that Ace of Cups, and finding this source of this beautiful love within us, this unconditional love that we can't lose, doesn't have one condition. All it takes is one condition to make unconditional love conditional. So because it's unconditional, no conditions at all, nothing we can do to lose it, nothing we can do to gain more of it. We have 100% of it already. So there's this beautiful awareness that comes, and this freedom that comes from that, because you don't feel like you're going to be hauled into court and judged anymore. And then you have the Magician. And you'll see here, this is the infinity symbol, which represents your infinite self. And this is telling you that you have everything that you need already inside you, that you are 100% complete and perfect and beautiful without the need of anything else, because you've got all the pentacles, you have the wands, you have the sword and the cups, so you have everything that you need, because that basically says you have all the truths, the capital T truths that you need. You have all the passion and the energy that you need. You have all the abundance and the worth you need. And of course, the emotion. You have all the love that you need right within you. And you have access to that. And what's great is that these two are major arcana cards, which mean that these are life-changing information. This is life-changing awarenesses that come in with this rebirth. So you are definitely feeling this empowerment, feeling like you can, bring your beautiful unconditional love energy through you and into the world. Normally the Magician would have like one hand toward the heavens with a wand, one hand pointing down to the earth, and that's you being this conduit of this beautiful energy, this beautiful love into this world. And so that is what this is. This is that bright light that you've been hiding, that you can shine. I know when I was in Sunday school and Christianity, when I was younger in my years, that song, am I gonna hide my light? No, I'm gonna let it shine. So it's let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, because what you have to give to the world is truly magical. We're also going to pull your final card or cards from these Divine Guidance or Divine Directions deck. And this just is what the Creator has to say, which are the final messages for all you Capricorns that chose reading number 1. Okay, so you got those two. Any others? Okay, and those two. Okay. So start with this one. Yes, abundance. And it says, great news is heading your way. Abundance is coming to you in many forms. I'm going to put this one right here because I really feel like this is saying that you have everything you need within you. So you are definitely whole and complete and you will always have everything you need in every moment to express this to the world. And then you have decide. It's time for you to make a decision. Call upon your spirit guides for help. Yes, so you definitely have this decision, and actually I want to put this one above here, because this decide is this choosing between the smaller T truths and emotions of the lower world and the capital T truths and unconditional emotions of the spirit world. And you do have this beautiful access, like I said, with this U times 2 I was talking about. When you connect to your higher self, it just helps you connect to the entire posse of beings of support and love that you have on the other side. So definitely this is for you. Birth, rebirth, birth. This is a time of new beginnings. Embrace the new life with open arms. So, yeah, in fact, I think I might just move this one over here, because this 9 of Cups is this abundant feeling, and we'll put the birth, near the rebirth. Then your final card is passion. That is, passion isn't confined to sexual energy. Life is meant to be felt. Don't hold back. So definitely this is expressing this beautiful love that you have within you with the world, and you don't have to hold it back. You don't have to hide it anymore. It's time to birth it. It's time to let it out. You have all this rabbit and the butterflies and all this. Yeah. So you definitely, when you chose, because you chose the caterpillar to the butterfly, here's your butterfly. Yeah. It's definitely this cocoon experience. The caterpillar tries to hide and be hidden so it doesn't get eaten by, the birds and other things. Then it goes into cocoon and hides and transforms, and then it comes out in this beautiful birth and rebirth. So I love this for you, all you Capricorns. All right. I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly readings for each element, like earth signs, water signs, etc., new moon and full moon readings, like I talked about, and other readings, like the other videos, like the U times 2 and some others. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those free videos that I put out, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that'll give you access to this notification bell. And once you go in there, then you can select all, and then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing any of those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video, you share a video, you comment on a video, or you subscribe to a channel, it makes the YouTube algorithm so happy it wants to share those videos with other people as well. So if you feel so inspired to do any of that, I, of course, greatly appreciate it. Also, these are general readings. If you want even a more specific reading for your life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. All right, all my Cappies, just know as you go throughout each and every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, and until then, you take care. All right, my Capricorns, if you chose reading number 2, which is the seedling to the fruitful tree, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Into the Lonely Woods. And this is just going to represent one side of your scale here and see what is going to be balancing during this equinox period for you. And one more time. There we go. All right, so for our Capricorns that chose reading number 2, what do you want them to know about that side of the balance? Okay. And you have the Between Two Worlds. So yeah, there's definitely this separation feeling, like you don't think that the bridge will ever be built and that you're going to be stuck on this little island all to yourself. So let me also read from the book here. And that was number 24. It says sometimes the gulf between the old world and the world yet to come feels like a chasm. It doesn't feel possible to bridge that gap, to somehow make it to the other side. So for a while we slump and we go into ourselves in the denying and destructive old ways. And just at this point, a sign will appear, the scent of flowers, birdsong, the colors of dawn that will give birth to hope in your heart. And suddenly that gap will not seem so huge. The waters you must cross do not seem so deep, nor do they feel dangerous. And within a shorter while than you think possible, the old and the new will be bridged, and you will walk into the next life within this lifetime. I kind of feel like this is that bridge, right? Walking across to that. And we're also going to pull for the other side of this is the Earth Magic Oracle cards to see what's on the other side of the scales in balancing this. All right, so for our Capricorns, that chose reading number 2. Okay, it's that one. And you've got crystals, focus. That's funny, there's water and mountain on the other side too, like you have to cross to get to something else, right? So let's see what this message has for you, for the balancing. It says, here we see an amethyst crystal cave bathed in the water from a river. The points of light representing the spiritual force that these crystal beings generate. Amethyst, as well as other types of quartz crystals, have been used for thousands of years in magic and healing, as well as for intensifying psychic capabilities. Since its violet color is the same as the crown chakra, it has often been referred to as a spiritual stone. The nature of quartz crystals, the second most common element in the Earth's crust, is that they help focus the power of our life force, or spirit. Where attention goes, power flows, and crystals magnify this power tenfold. Our intention influences where our attention goes. So intention, attention. When we're consciously aware of our intention, it facilitates the focus of that spiritual power and supports the manifestation in material reality of that intention. So that is perfect. So yeah, this is like represents the kind of the I don't say fear, but the darker emotions of what's going on there, right? That you feel like you're alone. And this is the balancing, this beautiful, beautiful crystal energy, this focus on your spiritual side and connecting to the higher realms is what helps balance that out. In fact, I do want to bring in, I have this beautiful amethyst crystal here, and I'm going to put that right here to help amplify that energy for you. And so we'll leave that there. We're also going to dig deeper into this, of course, and we're going to start off with the Black Tarot. And this is going to represent messages from your shadow self. Your shadow self is like your tour guide in this amusement park of fear rides that we're in. And it is the game master. It is what keeps us in the game. It's the part of ourselves that keeps us, you know, in this human experience. But being the game master, it understands how the game is played, and it is for us. It is wanting to do things for us. And where, like, this is like maybe up above here is your conscious world, where you are aware of things and how things work. Our shadow understands the subconscious, all the stuff that's going on below the surface, behind the scenes, all these programs that are continuing to run in our lives that are impacting us when we may not be aware of them. So these are going to be the truths that your shadow wants you to know for during this equinox period. So for all my Capricorns that chose reading number 2, what do you want them to know? Okay, so you have these two. What else? Anything else? Of course. So you're getting 3 for this one. And the first one here, you have the Ace of Wands. So yeah, Wands is your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, and it's your spiritual energy. So for this reading, this really emphasizes this energy that's flowing deep underneath in your subconscious, wanting to make itself known, wanting to be expressed. So this beautiful churning of energy, all this beautiful light, this spiritual help and assistance is coming for you, and it is bubbling up from within. So this is the drive that you're feeling, and you care that there's not a bridge and that you're not being able to get to this other side. This is the other side you're wanting to get to this higher spiritual place, right? That you have that desire and that you care is a good thing, right? Because if you didn't care, you're like, oh well, then you wouldn't ever even make much movement toward that. But because you care is what is drawing and amplifying this energy within you. And then you have the 4 of Spheres, which would be the 4 of Pentacles in a standard tarot. And it represents, the Pentacles are your outside world, and the 4s are very solid numbers. So think of it like a table has 4 solid legs on it. It's a very solid table. And so this is really about your worth. There's this underlying, I don't want to say courage, but this confidence in who you are and what you can bring. And this is in your subconscious. This feeling low and feeling down, like nothing's ever working out for me, and I don't feel like maybe I don't even deserve to have things work out. Those are those experiences that we're going through in our consciousness, but in our subconsciousness, there is this, like I said, this courage and this confidence to do the things and to express yourself. And you can find it that, because even though you may be saying, well, maybe I don't worth it, and if someone said, yeah, I think you're right, you're probably not worth it. What? I am so, because you know in your core of your being, in your subconscious, that you totally deserve beautiful, wonderful adventures in your human life here. And you have this connection once you connect to your higher self and to your powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that you are. That's where this confidence, where this worth, your self-worth, is really have this strong undercurrent in your life. And then you have the 8 of Spheres. You have the 8 of Pentacles, and see you juggling all the pentacles there. This is great because this is also this desire that's flowing within you. The 8 of Pentacles, or the 8 of Spheres as they call it here, is about moving from this feeling of being an apprentice, being an assistant, moving into the master, moving into being the boss. And so this is this drive within you to move to a different level, to a higher level, to moving out of this victim role, of this feeling less and feeling unworthy role that is kind of been unfolding in your life. And this equinox period is helping you get even more deeply into letting go those old thoughts and beliefs of how you believed about yourself and about your worth. And this, they bring in up the difference between self-worth and retail price, because self-worth comes from self, from within. But we're taught to make our self-worth what other people outside of us think about us. What does all that stuff outside mean? But that is retail price. When you're looking at worth from the outside, that's retail. Because think of it like you're this beautiful, thick, warm parka coat. When you're in Alaska during the middle of winter, in very northern Alaska, retail prices, you are priceless. You are, wow, people fight for you, right? But if you're that same coat during summer in southern Texas, you're on the 90%, maybe even the 99% off clearance rack, because you're not needed there. They don't desire you there, and that's the instability of the retail price of the outside. But this is about self-worth. It's about finding the core of who you are through who you really are, your higher self, your eternal self, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. So that's what's kind of bubbling underneath your subconscious and what is bringing this balancing to the forefront during the equinox. We're also going to pull cards here from the Naked Heart Tarot, which these are going to be messages from above, from the Creator, from Spirit, from that support posse on the other side. Let's see what else they want you to know about this equinox for you. So all of you Capricorns that chose reading number 2, what would you like them to know, please? Okay. And these 3. Okay. Anything else? Nope. So this is it. And it's perfect that you have the Spirit of Pentacles coming out. This would be the King of Pentacles on the other side. This would be the other card besides the 4 Pentacles that I really have this message about finding your worth, because the King of Pentacles has been through all the pentacles, all the external experiences, and has so much wisdom about them. And that wisdom comes from that they did search for their worth in the outside world, looking at the 3 different areas of their life, which were relationships was one of the areas, whether that was romantic or it was, family, friends, work, or whatever. Also, the second thing they tried to define themselves by were circumstances. So whether that was education or positions you held in a job or some sort of situational type things. And the third place they looked was in the physical world, like possessions, their bodies, their bank accounts. And they found all those things lacking because, and unstable. All that is outside, that stuff is temporary and unstable because, like for relationships, people change or they pass away. Situations never stay the same. And of course, possessions and things break down, deteriorate, are stolen or burned down. So they are all unstable and they all are disappointing. Eventually, the king, the Spirit of Pentacles, was disappointed so much in the outside world that it turned back inward to find its worth from within, right? And so that's that whole self-worth versus retail. So again, this is reiterated for you in this journey, is finding out who you really are, connecting to your trueness. And then you have Sky Father. So I love this because this is normally the Emperor in the Standard Tarot, but the Sky Father in this one is about connecting to the Creator, connecting to the higher realms, connecting to this power of who you really are, and stepping into your authority of the higher realms instead of, the focusing on who you are defined by the physical realm. So I really love this call to that higher place. And then you have the Spirit of Swords, which would be the King of Swords in the Standard Tarot. And with the Ace of Wands here, with this passion driving here, you also have this Ace of Swords here. What the King of Swords brings you, you had this beautiful wisdom from the outside world. This brings you beautiful wisdom from the mind, the mental, which is your beliefs and your expectations and your attitudes, all of those things that are your mentalness. This Ace of Swords allows you to do 2 things. One, it allows you to connect to the capital T truths of the higher world. It also allows you to cut away those thoughts and those beliefs, those small T truths of the human world, the human experience. So it is very freeing of your mind, and it brings you a lot of mental clarity with this as well. And then you have the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands, we talked about wands here, about passion and drive and ambition, your spiritual energy, just the energy of a situation too. The fives are very transformational numbers, and this Five of Wands always brings to me this little picture in my head, a little movie, kung fu movie, where there's 5 individuals with their wands. They're all battling each other, and like, oh my gosh, they're trying to kill each other or hurt one another. And so you have this energy of chaos. In fact, you even see like this little firestorm in the middle here that's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, what's happening? And they finally wear each other down, where one is barely standing, the other 4 are on the ground. And then they start laughing, and you're like, what? And they put their wands away, and then they walk old buddy back down the alley to the monastery meal hall. And you're like, what is happening? And then you realize, oh, these were 5 monks that were practicing with each other, not trying to hurt one another, but they were helping one another to help them improve their skills. And so there's this transformation of this energy of how you're perceiving things and seeing things. And that's this beautiful energy that's changing in this, change it mentioned in this card about feeling so alone, and suddenly the drawbridge comes down and connects, the island to where you're wanting to head off to. So there is this beautiful transformation that is happening with this energy here, and it all has to do with connecting to this higher realm. And I do love this card here, the Sky Father, because you can see all those purples, all those amethysts, and it's almost like they're winking at you. In fact, I do want to read from the book here. I'm just really being nudged to do that here. So this is the Sky Father, the Divine Masculine. And it says, so the message here says, I am in control of my life, having balance and structure. Well, there we go. As I lean into this, the more confident I become. Having order creates room for expansion and growth. I use this strength towards the unfolding success of my future. I trust that the universe is guiding and protecting me as I courageously dedicate myself to the pursuit of my goals, and I set myself up for success. I use the wisdom that I have gained from my life experiences to help shape my present, and if others need my guidance, I graciously offer the wisdom I have gained. The universe works with me to help co-create my goals and dreams of success. And the cosmic familiar here, he says and whispers to you, you are guided by universal order and have the wisdom to persevere. And that is so perfect, because we were just talking about all the wisdom that you gleaned from the King of Pentacles, the Spirit of Pentacles, and the Spirit of Swords here. So you do have this beautiful wisdom that comes from above that helps you with that. And it's funny, we have whispering woods. We just talked about them whispering to you. Well, the woods also whisper to you, and these are going to be your final messages from the Creator for this equinox reading. So, Creator, for our Capricorns that chose reading number 2, what's your final message for them, please? Okay, those 2. What else? Okay, there we go. Anything else? And last pass. Nope, that's it. So this one showed itself here, and you've got dance, which says, allow yourself some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. So yeah, definitely this is about changing. I think it talked about where your energy, the focus, where your energy goes is what flows. So choose joy, choose peace, choose unconditional love, choose laughter. Those things will grow in your life. That'll help you with this bridge too. And then you also have surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. So yeah, it does talk about as you dig into these things and you dig into understanding yourself more, you do find these beautiful nuggets of truths and understanding of who you really are. It's just a very confident, powerful reading. I really love this. Yeah. Focus and flow. Go with the flow as water trickles down a stream. Do not hurry. So yeah, definitely go with this flow of what's unfolding in your life during this period of time. You know, it talks about this control and about understanding it, but you're co-creating this with the higher realm, which is so much all of these beautiful orbs of light coming to your assistance, coming to your aid. And they do not disrespect your power of choice and your free will, and they very much honor and respect it. So they will not meddle in your life unless invited to come in to assist. So you can ask them each day of your own free will for guidance from your, other realm, from Creator, from Spirit, from guardian angels and your spirit guides, your loved ones who are on the other side, your ancestors, any of those beings of unconditional love and light that you believe are on the other side. Ask them for their assistance, and they are so happy to help with whatever they can. Sometimes there are things that we ask them not to help us with before we came down here because we wanted to experience certain things. So if you ask one way and are getting an answer, ask another way. Like I can say, I want to win Powerball so that I can have everything that I need. And they could be like, well, you asked us not to have you win Powerball because you want to learn trust and faith. Ask a different way. You can ask, can you bring into my life today everything that I need for my journey? And then you'll see other things come in, right? So it's all about being open to having them assist you in whatever way possible for your highest experience. And I love that for you. But a very powerful reading for you. I'm excited for what this equinox is going to bring you. I want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also offer monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc. Also new moon, full moon readings, and a variety of others. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click that like button, and also click the subscribe button, then that will allow you to have access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you can choose the option for all, and that will allow you to get notification of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video or you share a video or you comment on a video or subscribe to a channel, any of those things makes the YouTube algorithm giddy, and it wants to help share those videos with other people as well. So if you feel so inspired to do any of those things, I am very grateful. Also, these are general readings, so if you want even more specific information for your life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. Right on, my Capricorns, as you're going through this equinox and every second of every day of your life, please know that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care. All right, my Capricorn, if you chose reading number 3, which is the baby to the adult, the calf or the fawn to the stag, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Into the Lonely Woods deck. And this is going to represent one side of the scales here. We'll pull a card from another deck to see what the other piece is, but this is going to be what the Creator wants you to know that is going to be coming into balance during the next 3 months of this equinox. Okay, there we go. All right, so for our Capricorns that chose reading number 3, what would you like them to know about their balance? Okay, you want this one right here. And you've got the Realizations, card number 41. beautiful card. We'll put that over here and we'll just read from the little book. And it says, so often we're distracted. We churn through the day, too busy to see, to hear, to feel, and to think. The soul starves within us. But in a time of aloneness, we can come to moments of deep realization where we begin to understand so much more. Honor those moments when they come within this time and space. The key to moving into a more soulful and rich connection with yourself and the world lies in these more lonesome times. You will have moments of realization that are the key to your entire life taking a different shape in the days to come. And this is a great blessing, born from the quiet, the stillness, the space around and within us in isolation. So this is about kind of like this hermit experience in the major arcana where you are spending time alone and you have moved from this place of being so busy and so pulled out into the external world that this isolation has come to you so that you can get into the quietness away from all the chaos, right? We're also going to pull the other side of the scales here, and this is from the Earth Magic Oracle. We're going to see what else is being balanced here. What is helping balance that out for you? All right, so for our Capricorns, okay, actually they want that one right there. Boom, boom. And you have lightning power. Kind of reminds me of the Tower card a little bit too, but let's take a look here and see what this brings for you. And lightning says, we see power all around us, and it's in the mountains, in the meadows, and in the clouds. In fact, in every expression of nature. Yet there isn't a more dramatic display of nature's power than lightning. It electrifies and splits the atmosphere such that when the heated air comes rushing together, we hear thunder, the applause of the gods. Lightning sharpens our senses and triggers fear and awe. We see these forked beams of brilliant light jump from the sky, and our instinctual vigilance is triggered in anticipation of the roar that follows. We naturally seek shelter from the storm, or are grateful that we are already being sheltered. This demonstration of power of creation is yet another way to remind us we are not in control of the natural world. When we witness nature's power with open hearts and minds, we see it neither destructive nor constructive. It simply is. And I like this for this reading because I kind of feel like this does represent like this tower moment where this is this power coming in, this lighting, this lightning that is bringing awareness and bringing things. It's almost like something gets removed out of your life, because that's what the Tower card and the major arcana of the tarot does. It's the removal of something from your life to allow room for growth. And that's what allows this room for this realization. So you have this storm happening, these things happening that are igniting things that help bring these realizations. We, of course, are going to dive in deeper here, and we're going to pull from the Black Tarot, which these are going to be messages that are coming from your shadow. And your shadow is like your tour guide in this amusement park of fear rides. It's the master gamer. It's the one that knows how all the game in this world works, and it actually does its job in keeping us involved in the game. But becoming it's the master of the game. It knows the subconscious stuff. It knows what's working behind the scenes. It knows those things that are helping spawn and bring the stuff into our consciousness. So if this is our consciousness, the things we're aware of, this is what's below the surface. And so this is going to be what your shadow wants you to know about these truths, these things that are working behind the scenes. So for all of those Capricorns, that shows reading number 3. Okay, they do want these two. They actually want this one first. So we will do that. And then what else? Okay, and those two, evidently. Okay, since these went over first, we'll look at these first, because first of all, here's the Hermit card I was talking about. So this is the Hermit experience. There is this drive, this underlying power that is pulling you to do that inner exploration, to walk through the darkness and find this brilliant light. You're the little lantern that they're carrying. The little star within the lantern of the Standard Tarot is you, and it is this, and in fact I want to put it right over here next to this one. It is this inner search, this inner adventure where you find the wisdom, where you connect to your higher self and you understand things so much more. You also have this Six of Cups, and cups are your emotions, and the Six of Cups is this transitional experience that you go through, because the three of these cups up top are the emotions of the higher world, and the three emotions on the bottom, the three cups on the bottom, are the emotions of the lower self and the lower experience. And the transition and the movement that happens with these emotions is because of this inner search that you go through. So you have these old memories, these old emotions, of course, that are running beneath the surface here, that influence your reactions and how you perceive things in the story, that you apply to situations, and that trigger how you want to feel, what emotions you want to feel. And so there is going to be this transformation that happens when you realize that every moment is an emotion of unconditional love of the higher world, or of the fear-based emotions of the lower world. And when we are in fear in our human, we actually, any actions that we have once we're triggered into fear are based on fight or flight. We are out of our minds. The blood literally rushes from our brain to our muscles to help us fight or to run, to be, still alive, to help survive. It's our survival instinct. So when you go back with that knowledge into the old past memories, and you're like, well, when that person did that, this is how I felt. You can understand that your emotions, if it wasn't of unconditional love, it was out of fear, but also that other person's actions. Were their actions out of fear or out of unconditional love? Usually, if we were hurt by it, it was an act out of fear themselves too. So when we understand that whatever they did, whatever they said, was because the little child in them felt uncomfortable and unsafe, and they wanted to get that control and feel safe again, we start to see the situation differently, and it transforms as we fill up with unconditional love, and we're able to see from a place of unconditional love what their actions were about. Then we can see that it was all about them. It wasn't personal. They were just trying to feel safe again or feel in control again. And sometimes that's expressed in some sort of abuse or mature emotional reactions, and so we start to see the situation differently, we start to see them differently, and we start to see ourselves differently too. So there is this journey that is happening with this as well, with these realizations that come because of this inner journey. And then you have the World card. That's funny. Look at, there's lightning bolt on there, just like that. But the World is about the ending of major cycles and the beginning of new ones. So this is an ending and a beginning of significance in your life, which makes total sense with these transformations that will be happening with these older memories. It does transform your life when you have these new realizations about yourself and about others, right? So that makes total sense. And then you have the Eight of Spheres, which would be the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is about moving to this new level. It is about stepping up into a new place. Kind of think of it as like a blacksmith who is an apprentice to a master, right? And so they're learning a skill, they're learning and growing, and they spend all this time and all these years of understanding and learning and growing, pretty much regurgitating what the master is teaching them. So they learn to smith just like the master blacksmith. And then when they're ready to move up to the master level, they generally move away somewhere else and are independent, and they start moving away from just regurgitating what their master taught them, and they start experimenting. They start showing their own twist and their own unique ways of expressing things, and that is this stepping up to this new level. And then Pentacles is the outside world, so you're like moving up, and this push of changing things in your external experience as well. So all this is moving underneath, and what's kind of spawning these changes that are happening, this movement, this removal of things out of your life, making room for these new realizations. So those were from your shadow. We're going to use these Naked Heart Tarot to look into what the higher realms want you to know. So that's from the Creator, Spirit, your guardian angel, your angels, your spirit guides, your loved ones on the other side, your ancestors, any of those beings of unconditional love and light on the other side. These are the messages from them. Kind of guidance they want to give you for this equinox period with this balancing that's going on here. And one more time. So what else would you like our Capricorns to know that chose reading number 3, please? Okay, they do want that one. And that one. And those two. Any others? Yeah, I thought there was one more they wanted over there. So let's unpack these, and we've got the Ace of Wands, and this makes total sense because Wands is your drive, your ambition, your aha, inspiration. It's your power, it's your energy, it's your spiritual energy as well. So this is your passion, this is new energy coming in, a new type of energy, a new, like especially with this new level that you're moving into. This is about as you take back this energy that you've been investing in these old memories, because any of the negative or the lower vibrational energy that we use to uphold the pain and the suffering that we have chosen to go through, and the stories that we choose to apply to these old memories, that takes energy to maintain, right? To rehearse it and to maintain it and to revisit it over and over and over again. Well, as you transform those by what we talked about with that unconditional love in it, that energy that you've been investing in it doesn't need to be used anymore because it kind of resolves it, converts it into a positive, higher vibrational energy. And so all that, like that strength and that energy you're using to maintain all that, it lets go and it all comes back to you. So you do have this new energy return to you, this new passion that gets ignited for you. So that is going to be happening in your conscious world. Yeah, and then you have the Two of Swords. This is beautiful because the swords are it's all about the mind. It's your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your expectations, your attitudes. And this is being brought to you because you're coming into this place of understanding that there's two places that you receive these thoughts and beliefs from. You have one, which would be this one here without the moon. This one here represents the small t truths of the physical world, the human side, like these 3 cups on the bottom were of the lower vibrational, and these are the higher. That's the same thing with these, except that the one with the moon, of course, is the one that's attached to the heavens. It's the higher connection. It's the intuitiveness, the spiritual, capital T truth. So you have these 2 areas that you come with, and that's what anchors down this experience, right? So you do have this awareness that's coming in for you of the 2 places that you have these thoughts and beliefs coming from. And they nudge me when we get one of these because they had me start this free video series at the beginning of the year called You Times 2, which is all about understanding the 2 of us that are living this human experience, that human character that we're playing that's rooted in fight or flight and fear, and the actor behind the character, which is a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. So there's awareness comes with this, and I'll have that video playlist posted in one of these corners at the end of this video. So if you want to check that out, and I think I have it listed in the description box below too. So just check that out if you feel drawn to that, because that'll give you some great information on the two of you, and it'll help you on that journey as well. And then you have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, so the Ten of Swords, this is called, I call it the exhaustion card, because the little rat or mouse, he's not dead. All these swords that are in his back, these are the small T truths of the world here. These that we chose, instead of the capital T truths of the higher world of unconditional love, these are all those expectations, the supposed tos, the shoulds, the need tos, the have tos, the musts, all of those things that we're afraid that if they're not met, that we're a failure, that we're unlovable. And so we fear being rejected if we don't maintain them, all those. And the only problem with that is those expectations can even be contradictory to one another, and they're so different, and they're impossible to complete this long list of expectations. So in doing so, we become exhausted, and this is a great card to have because the Ten of Swords is about endings and new beginnings. You are so ready. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're ready to let those go. And this is beautiful that you understand now that you don't have to, this isn't your only choice. You have a choice to look into capital T truths as well, the truths of the higher realm that will help set you free. And you find those by this inner search here. These realizations are the capital T truths that you're discovering, and they are of unconditional love, not of conditional love and fear. Then you have the Seven of Cups. And this is great too. Cups are your emotions, and you can see the little giraffe. His head is in the clouds, and he feels confused because he's not sure what emotions to feel. And this, it's like this discovery that there's another way to think also opens up your realization that there's another way to feel about things. And of course, this Six of Cups helps you with that, and understanding you have two perspectives to look at with your emotions. And so this beautiful journey that you're having in the conscious world is spawned by that, and it's allowing you to see that you don't have to feel the way everyone told you were supposed to feel in a situation. You don't have to believe a story that you've been told that this is what it's supposed to mean, because these are all the supposed to emotions, supposed to stories. And this awareness that there's a second option allows you to work through how you want to feel about a situation, how you want to think about a situation, the story you apply to it. So I love that. And then let's see what this one is for over here too, for your realizations. Yeah, and then you have the Six of Wands. The wands, again, like the sixes here, this would be, you have the way you choose around your energies is transforming too. There's this movement in how you perceive what you want to focus your energy on. The Six of Wands, sometimes you'll see it as they're on a horse. You know, here's the horse here, but they're usually on a person on a horse that's above everyone, and they're getting praised and getting recognition. And this transformation of this wand energy is about where you're looking for your recognition from, where you're getting your energy from, instead of from trying to get it from validation from the outside world by all these expectations. Instead, you're looking and finding it from within, finding it from those higher places as you do this hermit search on the inside. So I love this transformation that is coming in here for you, because you no longer kind of look at it as your energy that was drawing you was people pleasing, but you found out that, especially with this exhaustion here, you found that, you know what, you can't please one person all the time, and you can't please everyone for a short period of time. everyone has their own different expectations and experiences. In fact, they're reminding me, one of the big, ahas I had that they, showed me that you can't please everyone, is the first time that I wanted to grow a goatee. And I think I was like on a week of vacation. I came back and it was filling in, and in a matter of a day, I had someone that was like, oh my gosh, that goatee, you're growing a goatee, that's going to look so cool. I had someone else go, oh, that looks gross, I'd like you better clean shaven. Another person goes, you know what, you shouldn't grow a goatee, grow a full beard. Other people are like, oh no, you shouldn't, have a beard, just grow long sideburn chops. And then, someone else is like, you should just have a mustache instead. And I was like, oh my God, this is my facial hair, and I'm not going to be able to please any of these people, because I can please one and the other four are going to be upset. Instead, I'm just going to do what I want and everyone else can just deal with it. And so that's the kind of this energy that changes that, you can't please anyone. And so you look for this inner acceptance, this inner pleasure instead. So I love that. And then your final message is going to be coming from these cards here, which are the Aboriginal Dreaming Totems. And this is just the final message that the Creator has for all you Capricorns that chose reading number 3. So what's your final message? Okay, they do want those two. Anything else? Nope, none of those. Okay, and final pass. Anything else? Okay, well, they do want those two. All right, so let's start with this one. You've got amazement. And that says you have worked hard to get everything just the way it is right now. Trust and enjoy this moment. Everything is as it should be. And that's the great thing about especially this removal and this power with this lightning coming in, is that you can trust that everything unfolds perfectly. If something is brought into your life, then it's brought into your life on purpose, for a purpose. If something's removed from your life, it happens for you, not to you. It's happening on purpose, for a purpose. And then you got foolishness. Foolishness. You are worried that by letting go of your frustration, those who are responsible will perceive they have won. Well, they have won, because the only one suffering is you. And I like this one for this transformation of these cups down here, that we sometimes don't want to forgive because we think someone's going to get away with something, right? And so this transformation of these memories and these emotional memories, sometimes we're resistant to that, right? Because we don't want people to get away with stuff. But it's like taking a poison and going, aha, I drank poison and now you're going to suffer. Ha ha ha, oh, why do I not feel so good? That's that foolishness, right? It's like, you know what? The resentment, the unforgiveness, the anger, all that is festering inside me. It's only impacting me. It's not impacting the other person. And so this transformation that you do, you actually do it for yourself, for your own journey. Yeah. Yeah, because then you have joy, joy, joy. And that says, lighten up, lighten up. Find that hidden inner child and have a play date. Laugh, be silly, dance and sing. It's time to have fun again. Yeah, I really like this for this inner journey, finding that innerness there. And then your last card is assuredness. And that says it's time to challenge this situation and say, this is not good enough. Stand tall and take a stand. It's time to show the world just how damn tough you are, right? And I love that. Here's the world card and here is the assuredness. So just knowing, and I love this with this connection and finding the true you inside, finding this brightness that you are inside, this amazing, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that you are. Again, you stop worrying about pleasing the world, and you don't worry about this so much about, showing and meeting those expectations of the world. You just get to fill up with you and not be a douche about things, right? It's not about, you wouldn't do that anyway when you connect to that light within you. You just fill up with this love and overflow, and you get to express yourself to the world, and everyone else gets to decide how they're going to do it, because their emotional choices are their own as well. So I love this transformation and this movement that's happening here for you during this equinox. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also put out monthly zodiac readings for each sign of the zodiac. I have weekly energy updates by each of the elements, like fire signs, water signs, etc. Also like new moon, full moon, and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click this like button. Also, if you click the subscribe button, you'll have access to this notification bell. And when you go in there, you can select all, which will allow you to be notified when any new video in this channel comes out. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video or share a video or comment on a video or subscribe to a channel, all those things just make the YouTube algorithm so happy to share the videos on that channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of that, I am very grateful. Also, these are general readings. If you want even more specific readings for your life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is listed in the description box below. All right, on my Capricorns, just know as you're going throughout each and every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and of course, I love you too. Have an amazing equinox. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care.